Welcome to 2D4 or 2Die4 RPG.
Ah, hello guys.
Yep.
Also, you may want to check your OBS because we can see your taskbar and we can see your Twitch screen in there. I don't know
Yeah. Just
what sort of window capture. You may want to
there. How's that coming up?
click that and use the Alt key to drag the window capture area to be smaller.
Yeah.
Sorry about this. John is on his first day using the OBS software, so he's showing you all his tricks and things and all of his
Unmentionables.
yes, unmentionables on his desktop. So you just click the thingamabob in there like that, and then use the Alt key to drag things. And now we can see DFA over
for the love of...
the knight's face.
That will be redone.
I don't know why that's so difficult.
I'm just distracting people with awesome dance moves.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is you want to click on the window that is presented over there. You get the red square with the adjustment points.
Mm-hmm.
Hold down the Alt key, click one of the adjustment points, and scroll until it's only that area on the screen where our faces are.
Should be fixed now.
And now drag it a bit bigger so it takes up all the space over there. I need to actually add paper to my printer. So I'm going to make some noise while you do that. And there we go. I'm just totally not printing any character sheets or stuff.
Okay.
A bit higher. Ah, yes.
Okay.
Ah, yeah. Looking at it. Go left.
Oh yeah,
Just
go left.
maximize all the space you can get from that.
I would say that's it.
Ah, close enough. Well done.
Okay.
Good boy.
Okay.
Can you enlighten us on the Twitch name of the channel again one more time for our folks now that we are fully set up?
Yeah, so it's www.twitch.tv/2D4RPG.
Or, as we like to call it, to die for RPG.
Yeah.
Hoo-ha-ha.
Yeah. Okay. And can everyone hear us? That's the next important question we need to get out of the way.
Yes, Frog Scanner, our trusted and faithful.
It is very weird to see myself and on one screen and on the other screen. There's a lot of that's kind of
take one of them down.
Yeah, but if I do it, it's going to cause problems. So no, I have to keep all of them up. No. Right. Okay.
Hey, we make an army if we multiply.
do. Now, you need some waters. Barry.
What, Barry White?
Yeah, Barry White, that's the one.
It's the one you're thinking of, the
Okay. Right. So this is going to be our Dresden Files Accelerated game. The name of the stream is Sources of Power. So further ado, I think it's better if we actually start the story. We find ourselves in our world of 1923. A world that has come across just out of a war, a very terrible war. But wonder has struck the world again with the amazing discovery of the boy king, King Tut, in Egypt. And the world is aflame in regards to the recent discovery. But alas, it's short-lived as the curse has struck on the actual noble expedition that uncovered the boy king. Tabloids are aflame with stories about the curse of the king. There. But our story finds itself starting all the way in the ancient city of Rome as a gentleman is walking in the streets in the middle of the night, and we open up on Dear Evan's character.
Sir Knight Moore.
So if you want to describe your character, please, sir.
So my character is a well, actually, I'm going to look at the picture, and then that way it'll help me. My character is about 31 years old. He is an American. He's in Rome. He works. We'll get to where he works in a little bit. But he is an American that has found himself on the other side of the Atlantic. He has kind of a scruffy beard. It's definitely full, but it just doesn't. He doesn't quite grow it out. It doesn't quite grow out as well as other men. It's very dark hair, and then kind of a. It's a very American style haircut, as if it weren't for the kind of faraway the dim lights, it's fairly easy to tell that he's not from Italy. They maybe not necessarily sure where exactly, but he doesn't look of the empire. He doesn't look from Europe. It's even kind of as he's sneaking in the night. It's this swagger that is very indicative of the new world, and so he kind of it's kind of lackadaisical, and he's kind of going around. He looks pretty intense, but you can tell it doesn't have the same rigidity as the other Italians around him.
Right. As you're walking there, I'm wanting you to actually roll me a focus roll, please.
Two.
Okay. You're not 100% sure, but as you're moving through the streets of Rome, you get the sense that you're being watched. You can't exactly see it, but it's just that sense is just lingering there no matter what you do, no matter what street you take, it seems to follow you.
Do I get the sense that it's from around me or kind of above me? Like where am I getting that kind of sense of
It's you feel like you're kind of getting bored into the back, just between your shoulder blades. That's where you feel like you're being watched. There.
Okay, perhaps you can help me with this. What exactly am I wearing currently?
You're currently in just a two-piece, evening suit by the looks of it. There.
I I walked pretty casually. I could feel it, and it's starting to bother me a little bit. I mean, this isn't the land I know. These aren't necessarily. I mean, I'm fairly familiar with the streets, but it's never going to quite feel at ease. And so I try to. In Rome, there are a lot of kind of cobble alleyways,
Mm.
and kind of like hidden, not like hidden crawl spaces, but more like those tiny little narrow
Yeah.
areas. And I'm just going to very kind of with that swagger that I've got going on, just kind of do a quick sidestep just right into one, and I'm not going to go down. It's literally just one step, and I'm gonna stop right on that right on the edge of that alleyway.
Okay.
And then I'll probably listen to the side of the street that I was on
Right.
and kind of look up.
Okay.
So I'm hearing this way and I'm looking this way.
Okay. Give me another focus roll. There.
3.
Okay. It's as you're kind of just glancing around there. It's nothing on the street. But what you're seeing is as you're directing your eyes up, you see a slight movement on one of the rooftops.
On my left or my right?
So if your back's against the wall and you're... So which way did you sidestep? Did you sidestep to the left?
I
Or
sidestep to the left.
Right. So you're gonna... So when you're looking out, it's it's on the right hand side, on the right hand
Okay.
side of the road, but it's
Okay.
not. But because you can see it, it's on the other side of the
Yeah.
road. Side of the road, there that you're seeing this,
Okay.
and it just seems that whatever's following you, a sense that you've noticed it, the movement stops.
I am going to bend down, look like I'm tying my shoe, and then I'm going to I'm just going to retie one of my shoes, and then I'm actually going to go back into the street and keep walking the same way I was.
Right, you're just doing that, and as you're moving there, you now knowing what you're needing to look out for. It's not just one shadow. There's every time you seem to look in another direction, there's another shadow, and then another, and then the other, all moving in synchronicity with you.
I stop for a second. Do I have say I know that my character wouldn't smoke, but does my character have something like a set of glasses, or maybe something like a billfold or something of that nature that he would have in his suit? Maybe a tie or a what's it called, the kerchief that goes into the I would stop, and I would just kind of look like I was wiping my brow.
Okay.
It's in Italy. It's hot out.
Yeah.
I'm not quite used to the weather. So I'm going to wipe my brow, and I'm trying to observe through my peripheral vision. The shadows imitate my movement, or if they stop.
Yeah, as you're doing that, you
Kind of
move.
wipe down my arms a little bit.
Yeah, as you're wiping yourself down with that kerchief there, and I'm assuming you're also doing like a play of like maybe hacking up, hacking up a bogey or something like that. There.
Just just wipe them
All right.
down
Okay. Yeah, patting you. All right.
and
Okay.
and as I'm kind of looking at my neck, I'm kind of using that opportunity to look around at the shadows.
And it's just as you're doing that, it seems like the shadows, for a moment, step in, but then disappear and slowly meld away, and you suddenly notice that the presence is actually gone.
Interesting. How far am I away from my domicile?
You're only a couple of streets away, but you were only heading there to just quickly pick up a few things as you actually had a meeting that night. And it's just as you're hearing the bells ring that you realise you're actually running late for your meeting.
Is it 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, somewhere like that?
We're talking about it being, 9. It's just getting up to 10 o'clock. There, you're just
Okay.
hearing the
Okay.
bells ring there, and you realise you've you run yourself a wee bit late.
Do I know? But I know where the meeting is. Where's
Oh
the
yeah.
meeting in relation to where we are? Because I know I had to go to the house to get some things, but I may make the decision that I need to go to the meeting first.
Yeah. Well, you're close enough to where you live, where you know the actual sewer grate.
Okay.
You're that would actually that would be the quickest route for yourself to
Okay.
the meeting place. It's like if you were to stop at your domicile, the delay would probably only be about maybe a couple of minutes there, as
Okay.
long as no one was to bother you when you're at your house.
I will. I will take off my suit part of the suit jacket
Hmm.
and just kind of hold it, and I'll go at kind of a light jog.
Hmm.
Um, I know the meeting's important
Hmm.
because I know what this is,
Yeah.
and um, uh, the I'm trying to be punctual, but I also know that Italian time can be a little bit more lackadaisical.
Fair enough.
And so I don't want to cause enough suspicion. I already look like a foreigner.
Hmm.
I don't really want to cause any more suspicion. So I'm not going to go a straight jog, a sprint. I'm going to kind of increase, kind of walk a little bit, but act more like it's because I just want to get out of this heat.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of putting on that play, and it's not really coming across, I don't think, but if anybody was to see it, but that's the intention in David's mind.
Okay. As you're walking down the street, it's going to fade out, and we're going to come to our other character there. Our other character finds himself in darkness there, and all he's hearing is the shrieks and the screams as explosions go off and guns ring out and bullets sing past there. The, the character of Worcester Redford slowly moves forward, and he finds himself presented with a man that's bloodied from the eyes and a nasty gash on the forehead. And a voice says, "The prophecy. The prophecy." At which point, who's the character wakes up? You're silent.
Right. That might help.
Yeah.
Help with the matters a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, of course, the first action is to check if the moustache is still intact.
Yeah, this moustache is still intact. Just as you.
Oh well.
Mhm.
Oh.
Just as you kind of jerk upright, the door to your room opens up, and a man walks in. It's going, "Sir, are you okay?"
Ah, yes. I just I had a bit of a bad dream. I need to wipe off my tears. Yeah. Yeah, dispose of this.
Yes, my lord. The
Yes, sir.
um,
Would you be kind enough to boil up some tea? I'll take mine without sugar this time. But if you have some honey, that would be
of course.
spot on.
No, of course, sir. Just to advise you, sir, you already had retired, but there was a message for you from headquarters.
I will get to that in a moment.
Of course, my lord.
This is when Wooster turns to look towards the mirror and checks his moustache and his hair that is obviously all frazzled up because of some real dustling and rustling in the bed.
And not for a good reason.
Yes, but apparently a gash is missing from the forehead.
Oh yeah, there's nothing there.
Oh, that is a positive news indeed. It would have really cramped my style if I had to hide that behind a hat or some sort. Right, it's time to dust off the pajamas and get into the proper military attire of the khakis, as they call them. Such nasty things, but one must endure for the service. At least they are universally ugly on all the military personnel. And I do get this fancy ass cap.
It's just as you're doing that, it's your manservant, Mr. Relish. He goes, "Just to advise you, my lord, it's still night time."
Well, I do not feel like sleeping anymore, so I might as well be a night owl. Thank you, Mr. Relish, for this information. I was not quite aware that the sun had not risen yet.
Yes, sir. And of course, he hands you the cup of fine china and goes, "Your tea, sir."
Thank you, Mr. Relish. You may retire. I will be able to handle the night.
And he just goes, "I'll just leave the message on your bedside, sir."
Thank you, Mr. Relish.
He just bows once more and he just closes the door behind them. There.
So, what is this message all about? Dear Captain Redwood.
Yeah. Your presence is required at 10 a.m. the following morning for you to receive orders for your deployment.
10 a.m.? They're getting lax. When I was in the army... Oh, wait, I'm still in the army. People under my command get their orders at 8 a.m. Then again, this is Colonel, so he doesn't get up until 9 anyway.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I do suppose I have to do something about that. So anyway, I will say we'll then proceed to get up and do a bit of exercising. Some poking with a sword at a mannequin or something. Some sort of things, and wait for the morning to arrive.
Okay.
Of course, to enjoy the tea.
Mhm.
The night doesn't feel like sleeping anymore.
Yeah. You just you settle down. You start taking the tea, and it's like, wow, it's nice and relaxing. You just got that feeling unease, that nightmare. It's just disturbed your sleep, and it's just left you a wee bit unsettled there.
Yeah.
And of course, we're just going to go slightly back there to Evan for a moment. So, Evan, you've retrieved your goods that you were needing to obtain from your domicile, and you've made your way through the sewers.
Would you say I've changed it all appearance-wise, or do I still
You,
have my two-piece?
well, you've got your two-piece, but you've also got, well, you've taken your jacket off for your
Yes.
two-piece, but what you've got is you've got a cloak over your shoulders instead, and you've got, best way I can describe it is like, the architect, the tubes that architects carry for plans and all that. You've got one of
Scissors.
the
Yeah.
mm, you've got one of those slung over your shoulder there. It just slight occasional rattle comes from it as something moves in the middle of the cylinder. The light is very let's just say that there's a lack of light apart from the very thin beam of light that comes from the lantern that you're holding in your hand. And you move slowly into the room that you're expecting to have the meeting in. And it's like, it's dark and it's oppressive, and it's only before you can even actually ascertain if there's anyone in there, you're bathed in light there.
Will you bring down the light? Thanks. I I see you. I got it. Thanks. And for just a second, he's a mentally he's very serious, but for just a second, when it blinds him, he kind of goes back into those kind of stereotypical cocky mannerisms from across the pond that even when he's trying to be serious, sometimes kind of slips through. So he's like, "Hey, no, okay, yes, sir. What would you? I got what you need."
And he's just going with it, and he's like, yeah. The the figure steps out, and you don't see a lot. All you see is the hooded form, and he goes, "Yes, you have retrieved that item, then
Yes, sir.
you may pass it over." And he holds out a hand there, expectantly.
I say, how do I know you to be who I proffer this to?
Who else would be here at this time?
There are many who come for us. Do you know the code? You know I have to be protective of these plants.
And
Does he get any sight of grip or anything like that?
it's just as you're saying that, you see a flash of a signet ring.
Okay. And I say, my brother, here is what you require.
And it's just out of your pocket, you bring out a very small, it appears to be a jewellery box there. And you hand it over, and a finger just depresses on the button and pulls it up. and it appears to be a very old-fashioned ring, but it's from the brief outlines of the darkness that you can see there. It's very aged because what would appear to be a once bright copper is now green with age and corrosion there. And he goes, any issues retrieving the item?
No, sir. Only shadows that I saw on my way here after retrieving the item. And I show him my signet as well, and tell him that when I stopped to investigate the figures fled. I'm not sure if they were of worldly or otherworldly origin, but they disappeared almost as quickly as they came. It was the only issue in the entire mission. All else was successful without issue, without incident.
Yes, there is going to be another mission for you. An oracle at one of our conference has uttered a prophecy, and has a few of our members and brethren worried about what is coming. It's a bit vague, but we believe that your expertise there in ancient Egypt might be useful there.
I will do it as assistance as I may be required.
The prophecy that they told us goes as follows. Peace will be broken when the sun is at its strongest and royal blood is spilt. Upon the altar of Anubis, the unspoken will be unleashed, and darkness will fall on the land. Unfortunately, we don't know where the altar of Anubis will be, but our belief will be is that whatever will happen will be on the summer solstice.
The prophecy, based on my knowledge of Egyptian culture, would indicate that it would be the summer solstice. That would seem logical to me.
But we do not know who this unspoken is.
Where shall you like me to investigate first?
I believe when they say Anubis, all thoughts go to Egypt, but I wouldn't. But I think your services will be best used in the city of Luxor, Karnak. As you know, it's the old necropolis, and it's also the site of the Valley of the Kings. It's yes, you get the pyramids of Giza, but there seems to be, if there's any place where there's going to be an altar of Anubis,
Be the Valley of the Kings.
Valley of the Kings or Karnak, one of the biggest necropolises in the world, is what we suspect.
Would you like me to prepare right away? I can leave in the morning.
I would recommend that you take your weapon with you.
I shall keep it hidden.
Yes, best keep it hidden. We have reason to suspect that there is other powers in play here.
At this point, you said that I'm wearing the two-piece, correct? At this point, I lift my pant leg just a little bit, and just the tiniest glint of kind of a curved silver comes in to view, and that kind of reflected off of the light of the lantern. And I quickly pull my pant leg back down and tuck it into my boots like they normally would be. And I say, it will be done.
Yes, you'll find tickets for the ship at your domicile already. It will take you to Cairo. You will have to make arrangements to Luxor yourself, though.
I understand.
Okay. So the scene fades away and we come to Captain Redwood. He has spent a good part of the night just pacing up and down his room, and he's found that the actual sun has bathed the city of Cairo in a glorious light. It's coming near the hour of his meeting with the Colonel.
Hour. About time. Luster takes a glance out of the window and sees obviously the most important things one imagines when living in Cairo. The view of the pyramids and the Sphinx, right out there. Clearly visible to the naked eye, though a bit far away, obviously. One cannot live too close to the national monuments, but they have to be in the view. And then he takes a comb, runs it through his hair, and immediately proceeds to put on the hat and summon his batsman. Come on now, Mr. Ellis. Time to go to work.
Yes, my lord. As you say, my lord.
And the two proceed to get into the motor car and drive off towards the headquarters.
As you're driving off towards the headquarters, there you're seen on the streets of the city at certain corners elements of the Egyptian army that has taken control of the city after Egypt declared its independence a year ago. But on the opposite corners, of course, there are still elements of the British armed forces there to
Obviously.
protect the British interests of the Suez Canal. Both sides just keeping themselves distant from each other, but watching each other.
At least it's not the Ottomans anymore.
So,
Yes, driver, please take care. I do not wish to get trampled over by a group of ill-trained Egyptian militia.
yes, my lord. As you say, my lord, is anything else you want to tell me about there or direct me towards?
Excuse me? It was not the instructions to drive us to the headquarters.
Of course, my lord, but I am just wanting to make sure that there's no further instructions on you tell me how to do my job, sir.
Is that insolence I hear in your voice?
Would I
Sergeant?
Would I ever be insolent, sir?
Carry on.
Of course, sir. You could just see a slight smirk in the. If you actually look up at him, you see a slight smirk in the reflection on the windscreen. And the car drives on. As you're pulling up towards the actual barracks, you see a patrol of soldiers in kayaks, or khaki, sorry, I should be saying, walking.
Oh, this isn't kayak smoking. This is now canon.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Sorry. So the soldiers are marching in quick formation down the road. And it's like seeing the two guards at the gate wave the car on into the compound there. And as the car comes to a stop, a corporal opens the door for you.
Well, Wooster naturally picks up the captain's cane and puts it under his arm, and proceeds to descend down from the motor car, and to walk towards the commanding officer's. What's the name of the office? With the required panache for a nobleman and an officer.
So you're heading to the commanding officers.
Right. Yes, as instructed.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So you march off to the actual office in question. Your Batman a few steps behind you. As you find yourself standing in front of the door to knock, your Batman just stands to attention at the door. Just to wait for when you call him. And it's just seriously blinking, where's Robin?
I ate it. Oh, breakfast, obviously.
Yeah.
One needs to have some fowl in the meal.
Yeah. Yeah. If Relish is Batman, I think Wooster's Robin. Yeah. Foul. Boom. Right. So the Wooster goes and knocks on the door, and the voice just rings out. Enter!
The Wooster opens the door, steps in. You have summoned me, Colonel.
Yes, Captain, sit down.
Yes, sir. And Wooster closes the door, walking to the chair to sit down.
As you're doing that, you notice that there is another gentleman in the room. There. But it's not in military uniform, he's in civilian attire. But
Tails or suits? Or dinner jacket? Or something much less cumbersome in this hot, arid weather?
Oh, he's in what appears to be a suit, but he's taking his jacket off and he has just fanned himself with his bowler hat at this time in the seat. And
Wooster takes out his fan from his pocket, snaps it out, and proceeds to do as is appropriate.
Yes, Captain. The reason why I summoned you here is I have an assignment for you.
Yes, sir. May I have the details of the assignment?
Yes, you're to take a few men, and you're going to be escorting our dear guest here, Dr. Himmler, to the city of Luxor.
Dr. Himmler?
It's just as you say that, he goes, yes, how good to meet you, and he offers his hand.
Hey, Captain Redwood, at your service. It's the last time I worked with the Germans, we were on the opposite sides of the team.
That was just a misunderstanding of very regrettable.
Yes, that much should be obvious when one enters the compounds of the British military. By the way, so how many is few men? 6, 7, 20, 100?
Oh, you're just going to be be taking a actual couple of, just trying to think here. Yes, you're going to be taking a platoon with yourself.
Entire platoon. Very well. May I take my previous platoon, or do you wish me to randomly select among the core around in the garrison?
Well, you're going to be taking charge of one of the other companies, Captain. The other platoon is already in the city. You're bringing the remains of the company to reinforce.
As you order, sir. So I am to take over the command of Luxor compound.
It's not even Luxor. It's just Karnak. You're needing to take control of.
An entire platoon for just one side of ruins, sir?
Yes, we already have guys there, but we don't want to take over the entire city. But there is a few archaeologists, and this recent independence business has got some of the esteemed gentlemen of the expeditions spooked, if you will.
Scared of ghosts, are we? I would expect such things from laymen. Very well. I will take the complement platoon. I am assuming it is mostly comprised of locals.
No, actually, this company is actually from. This just new arrived from England.
I see. Well, in that case, maybe I get to spend some time with actual Englishmen.
Yeah, don't say that to the men. Half of them are jocks.
As you say, sir. Either way, they should be still a significant improvement to my previous platoon.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. In quick answer to your question, jocks are Scots. So no, it's yes. It's just quite simple. It is just get your men situated and to get your men down the city. Quickest way is just down the river. We have already taken care of transport for yourself there by barge. It is just get the good doctor there and just make sure that the site is secure. You don't have to worry about the city.
As you wish, Colonel. I will have my men prepared. I do assume your secretary is going to give me the details on the platoon I'm to take command
Yes, of course. The details will be provided to you as you leave. There.
Any further instructions, sir?
Don't cause an incident, Captain. That's all I ask for.
Then, I strive to give you what you ask for, sir.
The colonel just turns to the doctor and says, I think I'll leave you in the care of the good captain here, doctor. And the German just turns and goes, that is good. It's like, thank you. Captain?
Captain stands up, nods, this way, hun, and turns to walk towards the doors.
You just see a brief scowl cross the face of the doctor and goes, yes, hun, is it?
Would you prefer darling?
I think we can at least to try to be civilized. There we are at peace, aren't we not?
Perhaps, but old memories are difficult to erase.
Unfortunately, I was too old to serve there.
I was under the impression that those were the people employed at the last days, either way.
Allied propaganda, you got to love it.
Yes, well, I don't count it as propaganda when I can count them with my hands.
Oh.
I may look young, but I did partake in the war, sir. Sorry, would that be Herr Doctor?
Yes. Yes.
And as he gets out, he walks towards the lieutenant in charge of the colonel's affairs, taking the offered information on the platoon, flipping it over.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then looks at the information schedule. Barracks 5, are you sure? Usually Barracks 5 is reserved for local troops.
The men were just stationed there.
Sure.
They've just arrived.
Oh well. Mr. Relish, see that the men are ready to leave.
Yes, sir.
Go and fetch some lorries. We'll need to get to the barge.
Yes, of course. And you just see your sergeant gives you a quick salute and then just runs off towards the barracks in question. The doctor's just going, well, it is an adventure, is it not? So, have you ever been to Luxor?
Yes, I have once. Went to see the temple at Karnak, incidentally.
Yes. Well, hopefully your time there will be most illuminating, very fascinating. These ancient Egyptians, I find.
Well, then you will be seeing a lot more of them, I assume.
Yes. One might say I might have an appointment there with destiny.
I was under the assumption that the local call girls used Arabic names, mostly referring to flowers.
Yes, you British in your humour. There. I'll get my equipment ready for the barge, I think.
Be ready to depart by 1400 hours.
Yes. Well, off we descend, Captain, for now. And he just...
Das Vidania.
And he just walks up. The good Herr Doctor just walks off there. It's just as he's... Give me a focus roll, Mister.
A focus, you say? That's a 1.
Okay. No, you didn't see anything there. Yes. You're too you hear the good doctor leaving, but you're just focusing on looking at these auras over and over just to make sure what joke has been played on you there.
It's always a joke these days. They don't take this country too seriously.
Yeah.
It's not even officially a British protectorate. Just de facto.
Yeah. So we go to the other side of the city. There. And as a gentleman is stepping off the local ship into the port, into the nearby port for Cairo, and is, well, not port, be dock. Journey's taking a wee while as the David Moore's story actually started about a week earlier than what Wooster's did. So he just arrives at the same time as Wooster actually gets his orders there. And it's as you're walking out from the cargo hold of the ship that you're in, you are blasted with the heat. You thought Italy was bad? This is hell.
It reminds me a little bit of home, but this is a little much. All right, focus.
Yeah. You're taking, as you're stepping off the barge that's taking you up into the city of Cairo, you find that there is a few barges further on that seem to be advertising that they will do trips up the Nile to cities further on there. But there's a few stalls. How good would you say your Egyptian?
Is my writing in Egyptian?
Well,
or like my knowledge of like the Arabic language? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. How comfortable would you say you are with it?
I mean, it is literally my specialty. I would say that I can do it fairly well. The kicker is going to be that it's very, first off, I don't look like an Egyptian, and second off, it's going to have like the when you speak a different language, how some of the words are kind of a little bit off, or
Yeah.
the intonations a little bit off.
Yeah.
So he can communicate. David communicates very well. It's just a few of his Arabic phrases are a little odd.
All right, fair enough. Right. Okay, it's just as you're asking for a bit more information in regards to the actual where you can get a potential transport to the city of Luxor.
You're
about to say something?
Yeah. I would know at this time, because I don't, but I assume David would, that this period of Egypt is under a British control. Is that what I gathered?
What is in so up till 1922, Egypt was part of the British Empire. Okay.
Okay.
In 1922, the Egyptians got independence.
Okay.
And the royal family reasserted control there.
Okay.
But what you found was a lot of it was on paper. They were independent on paper, but the British still had a military presence.
Okay.
Because of the Suez Canal and the interest in the Suez Canal, and that didn't end until the Suez Canal conflict in '56. There.
Okay.
So this is the thing. While there is technically, like, the police, the Egyptian military is totally separate. There are still British Army soldiers.
I think for him, for David, his specialty is ancient Egyptian. So he he knows Arabic very well in order to get around and read some of the modern texts. But being an American that lives in Italy, primarily, he doesn't pay as much attention to the empire
Yeah.
as a lot of people. So he actually has a bit of a disadvantage in kind of the politics of the day. Um, he can tell you about all the pharaohs that came after Ramses, but he couldn't really tell you,
All right.
what was going on and stuff.
Right. Okay. Do an intellect roll for me then, please.
Okay.
I'm just wanting to see how pissed off you make.
I got a 3. No, wait, that's the old one. I got a 3. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you you're quickly talking to them, and you kind of you see some flashes of annoyance in the eyes of the stall owners there,
Okay.
but there's just the fact that you get the feeling there that the fact that you're actually able to speak Arabic to them is what is getting them to calm down. Okay.
Is it fair to say I think that his first move would be once he realized, because he probably didn't realize until he was actually really at Egypt how much of the control was still British. He probably would have tried to utilize the Arabic with a bit of a British accent
Mm.
initially, to try to kind of blend in a little bit. And then when he saw that that wasn't being very successful, he probably would have switched back to his native accent a little bit.
Yeah. I, it's like what you get in this going. No barge, no barge to Luxor.
I would go to the next person and say Shalom Alaikum, uh, Luxor transport, and I would kind of look at him and do they still at this point, and you're gonna have to correct me, do they still use the pound? Do you guys still use the pound?
Oh, we still use the phone. Yeah. No. It's so.
Because I probably would have tried to kind of give him a nice
You're handing like every single currency you've got. No, no, no,
but,
no. I have no barge, no barge. Speak to your own. Speak to your own. They take you. They'll take you.
he thinks for a minute.
And the guy's just pointing away. There, there.
And he goes off to the side for a minute, and then he finds kind of the I wouldn't say the like the youngest, but he definitely finds you can always tell in a city, the guys that have kind of traveled the waterways a lot, and the guys that are kind of green because they're standing there a little bit awkward and whatnot. And I go up to him and I say Shalom Alaikum, Anhu Akrab Al Bariyat, and I want to see what his response is. I'm kind of gauging him at this point.
This the younger person that you've talked to, he actually speaks to you in English. There, actually, quite fluently. He goes, "As look, you're going the bar. You're not going to get a barge with us."
Is there? I'd say, my mistake. I didn't realize you spoke English, but I was trying to speak in Arabic for you. Is there another way, perhaps, that I can get to Luxor that may not be a barge?
You could go with the land route caravans, but that would take months. There, no, there is barges, but at the moment there's the British seem to have the city on lockdown. There, don't know what. there. It's the only barges going down that far are British. You might need to speak to them.
Can you tell me where they are?
And then I just go. He just goes, look for the khaki there. It's like you can see there's soldiers everywhere. If you see soldiers getting on the barge, talk to them. See if they'll let you on. But they're the only ones. They're the only barges going down.
I say thank you kindly, and I kind of walk away a little bit. And so every time, because as I'm interacting with individuals,
yeah,
I'm always kind of shifting how I'm talking, how I'm acting, and I'm also kind of keeping an eye out in my peripherals for anything, because he's a little paranoid. I mean, not really, but he wants to kind of remain incognito. Is there anything suspicious that I'm seeing, or is it really just kind of the locals that are saying we can't do anything?
What you're seeing is, as you're kind of, give me another focus roll here. I just want to see how much you're seeing.
I got a 1 that time. Actually, I would like to use a fate point.
Okay.
And I can invoke a fate point to get a +2. Correct?
What aspect are you using here?
So my aspect that I would use would be it can be the trouble, right?
Yep.
Is that okay? Okay. So I would be looking, because my secret order is secret order is unknown to others. It gives me a little bit of paranoia. Okay. So I'm kind of on the lookout for if anybody is darting into alleyways, or if they're talking kind of in hushed whispers and trying to hear the Arabic there.
Okay, no, I agree with that. That's quite good.
So instead of doing the roll, I would just want to do the +2.
+2, yeah, sure.
Which would be a 3.
Yep. What you're noticing is, while people, they're not outright aggressive to you, they seem to respond to the fact that you're trying to actually speak Arabic, but there is a wee bit of hesitancy there.
Okay.
What you're noticing, though, is while there's people on the street, you're finding that they're subtly moving away from, certain groups. So you're noticing that the Arabs in the crowd are moving away from any white man or any kind of obvious European in the crowd, and they're really staying far away from a section on the kind of further down on the docks where there seems to be a lot of soldiers.
Okay. Because I'm thinking in my head about my order. Does it look like they're moving away? You mentioned the Europeans specifically. So it seems to be not as much about me as about the other people. Is that what I'm getting?
It's currently a current view of the Arabs there's this kind of tension about outsiders at the moment.
Okay.
And what you're seeing is like, when you're looking around, what you're spotting is there's just a few people that are dressed in what appears to be a civilian attire, but they don't seem to be interacting with the rest of the crowd.
Okay.
And it's just the way their eyes are darting around, which suggests some sort of military experience.
As I'm looking at this and kind of realizing this, I start to make my way kind of near the group of soldiers, trying to kind of posture myself up as best I can. It may require a focus roll, but I would be keeping my eyes out for any signet rings. And anybody that may be in the military that might be able to help me even if I'm an American, that might be able to have kind of an insight.
Okay. No, that's fine. As you're... Right. So it's just going to quickly pan all the way down the street, where a certain military certain captain is trying to get his troops into order as they're settling onto a barge.
Don't tell me I need to order Scotsmen twice to do something. Last I had Scotsmen doing things, they knew how to do them without me needing to do it for them.
You just hear the occasional grunt as they're setting the packs away and getting it all laid out in the barge. It's like one of the sergeants just goes, "Sir, where do you want us to put this doctor's equipment?"
On the barge?
Yeah, but where? Some of the stuff he's telling us is quite delicate.
Well, put them somewhere delicate. The captain just looks at the ship and... Oh, that seems like a good spot. Send over the ship. Least amount of rocking.
You just see the sergeant just signaling to the corporals and the privates, and they just start hustling the equipment onto the barge. Can I get you to do a focus roll, Worcester?
You can if you insist. That's a 3.
So as you're kind of just standing there trying to look impressive and prim and proper there when you're standing on the barge, you just see moving through this crowd a European that's got... It's just over his shoulder, it's just this tube over his shoulder there, like if he was an artist or maybe an architect, you would suspect, but he's clearly not prepared for the weather because he's sweating buckets. He's in what? He's not in shorts or anything that's good for the weather. He's just looks like he's just off the boat there, but you notice that he's paying a wee bit more attention to your barge.
Oh, that's none of my business. Civilian life is separate from mine. But if he does wish to engage me, I do suppose I need to be ready for it.
Question. I assume, due to the foreshadowing, that we're referring to me, right?
Yeah.
I do want to point out he's not from the northern United States, so he's going to be okay with the heat. Like, I think
there's still a wee bit of sweat. Yeah.
So, yeah, he's not from Alaska. So.
Fair enough. But there's heat and there's heat.
Yeah.
And
he's used to a very humid area and not quite used to the dry desert heat.
Yeah. It's like... There might not even be that. It's also, you could have heat, but you could also have sunlight intensity, which you might not be used to there.
He's used to very wooded areas.
Mm-hmm. There's also the point that he has spent the last days in Italy and not in America.
And in sewers in Italy specifically. Yes. So, well, it's Worcester's turn. So
yeah.
No, not really. I'm pretty much done with that. He has no intrigue in engaging a random citizen out doing touristy things in Egypt. It is quite usual for people to do touristy things in this era of Egypt mania.
Yeah. It's, as you're kind of just watching, you're seeing him like occasionally talking to a few of the locals, and it just seems finally that one of them's just pointing this gentleman in the direction of your barge there, and you see him kind of heading down towards where you are.
Well, once he approaches, the captain decides, well, what the heck, and walks to meet up this foreigner in this foreign land. Captain Redwood, British Army. May I inquire on your purpose here?
He's and actually this is going to work out very well because his accent is going to be comparable to mine, so it's going to be very interesting because he is going to try to I'm saying this out loud because I'm trying to figure out what to do, but he's actually been like figuring this out since he started walking off the barge. But he's like, my name. Hold on, I can do this. I just think like Tom Holland. There we go. Okay, so so he goes, yes. My name is. And you could tell he's kind of stuttering through the accent too. My name is Sean, and he kind of stumbles for a last name. Sean
Smith.
Well, I was going to say O'Malley because then it was like a very obvious Irish name. I think that would be very amusing. Yes, my name is Sean O'Malley, and I am looking for a barge to Luxor because I am looking to trade in rare artifacts there. I am a kind of a painter, if you will, and so I like to take pictures of the drawings of the ruins there, and collect what I can and sell them when I get back to the Isles, of course. Again, wanting to point out, he's stumbling through all of this, and he's trying a British accent with O'Malley as his last name. I just want to point that out.
The captain is silent and staring at the Mr. O'Malley with expectant look, the eyebrow quirking like you gotta be kidding me, boy.
He goes, oh, all right. If it's I didn't want to quite say this, but my name is Sean Penn, and I am trying to go to Luxor because I'm a bit of an exotic trader, and so I was looking to hire my way onto your boat. I know it's not the most it's not the finest thing in the world to be kind of an exotic trader, but I can provide things for the British Museum if you like, as I find them. I'm a bit of an archaeologist. And now on that one, he is legitimately like he's doing better. If I need to do a deception check, let's do a deception check.
I think this might be a contested role between you guys.
Because
so Guile versus Guile.
I'd say Guy for definitely the night. It's really you really kind of I think it's going to be a focus, just you kind of paying attention to what he's saying and trying to pick up anything there, Wooster.
Fair enough.
All right. Let's see.
Your target number is 1.
Yeah, but my guile is 0. Like he is the king of just. He is the king.
You could luck out. That's the thing.
I'm just seeing if there's like any aspect because I really want to like if I need to put a fate roll into this, I will.
Secret orders, secret.
Yeah, like because I'm blindly fight. All right, I'm gonna roll it. -1. Okay, wait a minute.
So the captain's stake on.
Wait a minute. I have a question. So if it's contested, because if I use a +2, it's going to be 1.
Yep.
If it's contested, what happens?
It's going to be...
Okay, no, Blinking's got a good point. Yeah, that makes sense. In the chat, he says, or she, I don't really know who you are. I'm sorry. Says should get a bonus since he already detected bullshit. That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point. So all right. So then, yeah, it wouldn't matter. And so I, at that point, like he's just looking at me, and the awkwardness is growing, and I know that if I don't say something that's I'm not going to get there, and so I just straight go out of the accent and kind of go back to my native, like kind of Tennessee-ish, the Southern gentleman. And I'm like, all right, I just went back to the accent. I legitimately didn't mean to do that. Hold on, I can get it back. There we go. Now we're at it. All right. I legitimately didn't do that. And I say, all right, fine. Obviously, you don't believe me. You can tell I'm an American. I am on a mission, and I know this is going to be hard to believe. I can't tell you how or why, but I actually work for the Vatican, and the Vatican needs me to go to Luxor to investigate some kind of odd things there. I know a little bit of Arabic, and I know a lot about ancient Egypt. And yes, it is very odd that a Southern gentleman like myself might have knowledge in ancient Egypt. But you can tell that is the actual god-awful truth. And so I would like to find a way that we can barter my way onto this here ship. And for the record, for those in the chat, that is legitimately what I'm doing. Okay? Like, I really do actually work for the Vatican. So he is not bullshitting on that. So, fuck y'all.
Why did you not begin with that? Come on, step on the boat. Let's go.
Was it that easy?
Well, obviously, when you tell the truth, you get much more than with a bunch of silly lies.
Well, all right, then. I'll go in the boat.
Now, tell me about this mission you have for the Vatican. It's bound to be far more interesting than anything these jocks have to say.
And at that point, he kind of goes back, and he's like, well, I can't tell you much. I can tell you that it's... I can tell you that I am supposed to find a location that they're investigating. With the church, a lot of this stuff is top secret. But they're looking for a gentleman. Well, it might not be a gentleman, but what would the equivalent of like an insight check be? I want to like know if I can trust this guy. He's in the military, so like my blindly fighting instincts would want to trust him, but I'm still a very paranoid person. So what would like because I legitimately don't know how much my character would release.
This is the thing. It could be it might be a guy.
I see. This is a contested check. It's my trustworthiness versus his paranoia. And I would say that would be Flair, because he has this it wouldn't genuinity into him.
Well, it was more. It's not me contesting you as much as like he's kind of gauging himself. It's a battle in himself, trying to figure out what he's going to do. And so this is what he's going to go with. He says, tell you what, I'm not quite sure what this barge's doing. You said they got some soldiers. Do you mind telling me what the what you guys are up to? Because it might align with what I'm doing.
Reinforcing the platoon in Karnak. Sorry, my bad.
Do y'all have any like special passengers or persons of interest?
Yes, we do.
Well, what I can tell you is that I'm looking for some individuals that will probably be in Luxor the next week or two that the Vatican doesn't want exploring the ruins. They're just, I think they're men of science, I think, but the Vatican would just prefer that the ruins information doesn't go. Well, you guys are an English barge. I'm sure you don't have any Germans on board, but they don't really want the war, the Great War there. They don't really want the Germans to get their hands on this ruins material.
I would be more worried about the Mussolini for they're getting something heinous under his belt.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't understand anything you just said.
The Mussolini fellow.
Oh, the Italian. Yeah. Unfortunate about him, but he wasn't a great general, was he?
The one who's currently the Prime Minister of Italy.
We talking about Benito? Am I getting the wrong thing?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I didn't know he was the Prime Minister at the time.
Just came to power around that time, actually.
Actually, a year ago, he got the title of Prime Minister.
Oh, yeah.
David would have known that. I mean, David lives in Italy, so.
No, it doesn't mean he pays attention.
No, like I said, he doesn't quite get the politics of the day.
Yeah.
But he just the Vatican is a little bit concerned about the Germans, and so I'm just there.
I don't see why not. I don't see why they should be. They are a broken power. Oh,
I don't really care. The Vatican tells them where to go, and to be honest, all you Europeans sound and act alike. So it doesn't really matter to me. I just go where I'm told. So kind of like one of your soldiers, but I know a little bit more Arabic than I assume all that. Those gentlemen over there, they're doing the grunting. Are those Scots? Because the only individuals I've ever heard that grunt like that are just Scotsmen. So I just thought that was kind of interesting.
Yes. Actually, that one over there is not a Scot, but the rest are.
That's a what?
That is not a Scot, that one. That one is an Englishman. We call him Mr. Relish.
Oh, all right. Well, if you don't mind, do you have a place on board for me to stay?
Yes, you can sleep on the deck wherever you please. The down below is reserved for the serving men, but if one of them is willing, you may swap bunks whenever you feel.
Is there any extra bunks down there if I help be a serving man?
Unfortunately, all the bunks are employed at the moment, but as I said, not all of them sleep all the time. I hope. You never know. It's Scots.
Well, thank you kindly, and I start heading down to.
Also, one more thing.
Yes, sir.
There is a German on board. I do not wish any altercations with him.
Oh, don't misunderstand me, sir. The Vatican doesn't want the Germans to go to the ruins. I could care less about a German. As far as I'm concerned, we won and they lost, so I don't really care. So there will be no altercations for me, sir.
Excellent.
And as I start heading down, I just kind of mumble. I just said, "Bless his heart," and I just kind of head on down. Which for those of you that are in the European region is not really an insult, but not the best kind of statement one could make about an individual. And so he just kind of says, bless your heart, or bless his heart as they're walking away. And he goes down and tries to find a bellman, or I don't know what the name, a batman, is that what they're called?
Batman. The Batman is actually a single person in this ship, but the rest of them are soldiers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Batman is Wooster's personal servant.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The only non-Scottish on board aside of himself.
Gotcha.
And the German, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just go and I start trying to negotiate a bid.
Well, I think that there'll be some offer there. It's just a question of how much are you willing to part with. That's it.
I try to. Are they all British downstairs?
Oh,
Like it's. Well, I mean, are there any Egyptian locals?
like you see, like the hands, the actual
Yep.
barge crew. They'll be Egyptian there.
Actually, I would like to see where they sleep and where they kind of associate.
So what you're finding is that they're sleeping in the very lowest level of the barge. So we're talking about the bit that if it, the bit that's most likely to have begins of bilge water.
Um, I actually, um, my character, because he's always kind of dodgy,
Mhm.
and that would actually work very well for him, because then he can let his guard down a little
Okay.
bit more, and he doesn't have to put on airs or try to be. He's intentionally boisterous, where he's actually a very serious individual. So he actually goes and talks to some of the Egyptians in Arabic, and tries to explain that he's not one of the soldiers, and sees if he can get a bunk where he doesn't have to share, even if it's down at the bottom. And actually, he'd prefer to talk with the Egyptians anyway.
Oh no, you'd be surprised. They actually would have a spare. They do have a spare bunk for you down there. It's just it's just all the premium bunks are the ones that have been taken up by the troops.
Well, a week ago I was in a sewer grate, so it's he's doing okay. So yeah, he starts to settle in, and I think that he would continue to kind of talk and try to get his way in with the locals, to see what they know, because I haven't actually told him about the actual mission, the captain. So I would, but I would kind of ask the locals in Egyptian, kind of leading questions.
So, what sort of questions are you going to be asking?
Um, well, yeah, to be honest, I'm trying to remember the prophecy. Yeah.
Do you want me to repeat it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Part of it.
Yeah. So the actual prophecy is peace will be broken when the sun is at its strongest and royal blood is spilt upon the altar of Anubis. The unspoken will be unleashed and darkness will fall upon the land.
All right. So I don't want to I don't want to kind of pester. That's the word I'm thinking of. I don't want to pester them too much. So I'm going to. Do I have? I'm going to assume I have, but I'm going to ask. Do I have my Bible on me?
Oh yeah, you'll have
Yeah.
your Bible on you.
So I am. So I'm going to get. I'm going to kind of lay down and get myself out of the sun, and I'm going to open up my Bible and kind of start mumbling Latin phrases to myself out of the Bible, because I have a Latin version, and just kind of see if anybody is really taking note or anything like that, and if they're not, then just kind of relaxing after that.
Yeah, it's like what you hear is like it's like the you don't actually. They're not paying the Egyptians aren't paying attention to you there.
Okay.
If any of them are reading, it looks like from what you can hear, it looks like one or two of them are reading from the Quran instead.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
But understandably, it looks like and then you'll see occasionally like all of them will go up at sunrise.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Do the prayer on the deck, not in the bilge
Yep.
water, right?
But all of them go, specifically all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So once I see, because I would assume then, because I would have knowledge of Islam, so I would be kind of seeing if they were going like the fifth day, because we're talking when did we have the conversation with the captain, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe?
Probably, I would say, yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking for like the 5 o'clock ish prayer time. So I'm kind of on edge until then, and then once I see that, I just go down and I sleep.
Okay. It's like.
Meanwhile,
exactly.
Meanwhile, the captain,
we have the guy way up here and the guy way down there.
Yeah.
The captain has his 5 o'clock tea and invites Herr Himmler, Herr Doctor, for tea with him.
So the doctor just enters and he goes, "Oh, guten Tag."
Good day. I would like to apologize for the earlier. I was quite distraught, and recent memories resurfaced about the war, and I was rather in the 1990s mood. My sincere apologies for that. Would you care for some tea?
That is good. There's no reason to apologise, dear Captain. It's understandable. It was a terrible war.
May I ask, Herr Doctor, what is it that you are searching for in Luxor? Oh, Karnak?
Karnak. I'm looking to further some research of mine. I have been studying for many years, and hopefully, some recent discoveries there might shine a light on what I've been studying there.
Herr Doctor has clearly taken the Otto von Bismarck's lessons in diplomacy great to heart. You said a lot of words without saying anything.
What is it you exactly want me to say?
What it is that you studied? What discoveries are you going to be reaffirming for your studies? I am quite intrigued by the matter on a personal level.
Okay. I'm an Egyptologist, but my area of study is the cult of Anubis.
The cult of Anubis, that is the cat god, is it not?
No, the jackal. The jackal.
Yes. Not the one with the hippo. Not the one with the hippo.
No.
I always like the one with the hippo.
No. We're talking about the god of the deaf, guardians. He helped the souls of the belief was he helped the people transition to the afterlife.
Yes. Are they half that weighs the same as a feather?
Yeah. So everything. So they call at certain points of history a great importance in their burial traditions. But not a lot is known about the cult, unfortunately. But hopefully with recent discoveries, I mean, this discovery of King Tut, when people believe that there was nothing more to discover, is giving us hope that there is maybe a lot more to discover in Luxor and Karnak.
Certainly sounds promising. Perhaps there will be something I can be of assistance with. There's some cookies.
Danke. And he just slowly nibbles on a biscuit. There.
And, well, Sir Worcester has nothing particular to talk about, but more likely to form a relationship with this doctor to mend the insults he caused during the slight annoyment at the colonel's office.
Yeah. As I said, Captain, there's nothing to apologise. It was a terrible war.
Yes. Are you by any chance of noble blood, Herr Doctor?
On my mother's side. There. Mother's side. Yes. She got disinherited when she married my father. Understandably.
Such a shame.
Yes. I never knew my grandfather there.
Well, I must say that I never knew my grandfather either. On my father's side, he was long dead by the time I came about. And so was my father. Well, not long dead, but recently dead.
Your question, Captain, suggests to me, are you of the peerage?
Yes. I do have a title back home. Nothing much to toot around about in the colonies and protectorates, as in particular. But enough to keep me in the officer corps for the rest of my life.
Okay. And the conversation just continues, and we're going to go to a quick break there, just to allow everyone to see to their needs. Okay, and we'll be back on in the next 10 minutes. There.
Okie dokie.
Okay. So that's us back. So forward in about a week or so, while the barge heads up, we open up, finding ourselves with the barge pulling into the city of Luxor. After the barge docks, the platoon quickly marches off in neat formation, just leaving the good doctor, the captain, and David Moore waiting on the barge. The Batman for the Doctor has, of course, went off already ahead with the good captain's luggage. Says we're too low.
Volume has gone too low. Oh, how can this be?
Better.
Oh, hello, cat. Why are you moving my camera?
Is that better now?
Hey, let's see. Oh, I can't tell the difference.
We got a better in the chat.
Okay. Okay. So as I said, you find yourselves on the docks to Luxor. The platoon's already headed off with the Batman to get themselves settled into the barracks.
Well, now I do suppose I need to pay the bargeman.
The Egyptian's just holding his hand out, just looking at it.
Let me know when it's enough.
He just grabs it and just bows and then walks off there.
Am I next to the captain? Am I next to Captain Wooster?
Yeah, you, Wooster, and the good doctor. You're all on the deck together at least, so you could all see each other.
I go over, like, how close am I? Like, am I like within speaking distance, or like I have to walk over?
How close do you want to be? That's the question.
Because I'll probably be like, if we're getting off the boat, I suspect that I'm fairly close. So I would kind of look over at him and say, one of those would have worked, by the way. That you didn't have to give him all that. Literally, one of those is a year's salary for him.
The Egyptian is just glaring at you.
And he does have a crew to pay for as well.
Yeah, all right. I mean, hey, I just look over at the Egyptian and I say in Egyptian, I just hope you guys are coming back if you want more of it. Because we're gonna need you later. What is he?
He just shrugs and just walks away.
So he just paid for us to stay here.
And just walks off, and it's like the good doctor is just stepping up into the gangplank and goes, gentlemen, want to go to Karnak?
Now this has been like a week, right, or so? Like, how long does it take?
No, I'd say it's been a week.
2 days from Cairo on a boat.
Split the difference of 4. There's traffic. I don't know. So at this point, I've probably, I've been hanging out down there, so I really haven't talked to the doctor much at all. I don't think I would have. So I'm just gonna go and after you, sir, and kind of keeping my eye on him a little bit. But I'm being very cordial. Maybe suspiciously cordial, but cordial.
He just goes, danke. And he just steps off and walks down the plank, and he just gets to the bottom, and he's like, I can't wait to see the ruins. Yes. Yes.
Does he say that
12.
enough to where we can hear it?
Uh, he,
I can do a focus check. I will totally focus check that.
he says it loud enough for you to maybe not hear every single word, but you gather what you gather he's excited. There.
I go over and I say, I don't know that I've introduced myself. My name is and I kind of think back to like what I actually said for like just a second, and I say my name's Sean Penn because I can't remember if that was the second one or the third one I said, and say I don't think we've met. Nice to meet you, sir. What brings you out to the middle of nowhere like this?
Just a question. How well known are you in archaeology circles? Because you're an archaeologist.
I would say not very, because that's not to say I don't have the expertise, but I'm on retainer for the Vatican, so
So
I'm not.
you're not putting out papers all the time. Then.
Yeah, I'm. They would have they send me out and then bring me back real quick. So he wouldn't. He might have heard of me. I doubt he would have known my face. It would be very doubtful, I would think.
He just
Or
goes.
maybe the other way around, I guess. Yeah. He might have like seen my face with something, but he wouldn't have known my name.
Dr. Heinrich Himmler.
Nice to meet you, sir. Are you a medical doctor?
No, Egyptologist.
Oh, really? I know a little bit about Egypt myself. That's what brings me out here. Very very interesting. But yeah, I think the platoon is moving on. Perhaps we should catch up with them. Do you need any help with your bags or your equipment or anything?
No, I'm fine. I can carry what I have here. And he just
Well, and I kind of you said we're 1923, right?
yeah, 1923. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not from the West. I was debating what kind of hat I would have because there are a couple very distinctive styles. I would I don't know if any of you guys are going to get this reference. If you've ever seen old style plantation hats, that they're kind of straw. They're very the old Kentucky Fried Chicken. If you guys know the Kentucky Fried Chicken, the type of hat that he might wear. I just kind of bow and say, well, after you, sir. And does anything on my person act strangely as far as any items I'm carrying? I don't really know what items I'm carrying, to be honest with you.
There's nothing tingling at the.
Yes,
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
That's a good example. Very, very good. I like that.
Yeah.
And I go to and I say, Captain, it looks like our journey awaits. Thank you for the ride.
Well, if you do wish to get to the ruins, perhaps you would care to wait for the motor car to arrive?
If it's all right with you, you seem to have an army of soldiers at your disposal, and I very well may need some protection. This is kind of a foreign area for me. I really am looking for ruins, as I've said. So I do have some expertise in that. Perhaps I can barter an item to go to the British Museum for you in exchange for going with your platoon. Because he really would have that expertise. That wouldn't like he's not trying to deceive. I know I have to clarify that out of character every time. I know. It's a real questionable time. But yeah, he's like, perhaps I can find something for you.
Perhaps. We shall see what comes up. But I will have the demand to see all the artifacts you come up with before they are delivered outside of the city proper.
I go to shake his hand and I say, "Understood, sir." And I go and I follow the platoon. Does he shake my hand or not? Do you shake my hand
Yep.
or not? Okay.
He does.
Yeah.
We will consider this as binding as the promise from the Pope.
Now that's a tough order, sir. But you know, I can respect that man to man. I don't know if I can respect that man to God, but I can respect that man to man. So, yeah.
What happens between you and the God is between you and the God.
You can see just like briefly this kind of hint of fire in his eyes just for a second, because he noted that he said the God, and so like for just a second he kind of, yes sir, and then you know, it heads to the platoon.
This man is a true believer. says Booster as soon as he's left the site.
Yeah.
Turning towards Herr Doctor, like, shall we wait for the motor car to arrive? I've sent my batsman to retrieve it from the garrison.
Yes, that sounds quite a sensible precaution. There's a lot of bags to carry there.
Indeed.
How far away am I at this point from them?
From
20 to 30 meters.
Mm.
Before I started the conversation.
You want to?
That's 90 feet.
Oh, gotcha. Football field away. Okay. So okay. So then I just I think that I would have looked back and seen that they were waiting, because I didn't think they were going to be waiting, and so I kind of just slow my walk down, because I want to stay with the doctor and the captain. So I say, "Oh, I didn't realize you were staying. I didn't quite understand. Perhaps I'll do that as well."
So it's just as you're coming back to approach, the car pulls in with
a couple of soldiers and that begin loading up the doctor's items in the back of a lorry, while there is a open carriage limo, sort of the old-fashioned, where you have the driver at the front and plenty of room in the back seats for everyone else.
So the car's pulling away, and it slowly just meanders through the city.
Was I able to catch up with them before the limo goes away?
Yeah, there's a while that it takes for the items to be packed, and the doctor will not.
I would have liked to go in the limo with them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you have decided to rejoin us, American?
Yeah, well, us Yankees can be indecisive sometimes and real decisive other times. I guess I didn't quite understand how you were doing it, but yeah, I figured when I saw a car, I mean, you know, we invented those, you know. Seems pretty fancy. I'd like to ride in one. I've got to ride in one before, so.
Actually, the automobile was invented by Daimler in Germany.
The Americans just like to claim everything. That's it.
I just kind of look at him like, yes, sir.
Yeah,
or no, I say my mistake, sir.
But I will give Mr. Ford all the respect he requires from his machinization of the industry.
Yeah.
And I said that's he is a fantastic gentleman. Him and Mr. Rockefeller and Mr. Morgan have done quite well for our country.
Yeah, it's
I'm just riding in the limo with them.
It's just as you're talking about it, you just hear excited kind of squeak from the good doctor, and he goes, "You can see the runes."
Yes, this is Luxor. It is known for the ancient Egyptian ruins.
No, but no, for the bones. That's Karnak there.
Yes, it did.
And it's just as he says it, the car pulls out into a wide avenue that opens up straight to the main gates, or one of the main gates, for the temple complex of Karnak. And dotted outside is British Army tents and the small ditch around that there. And it's like the car pulls through into the wall complex and the doors are opened again.
Is there an officer to meet me?
Yes, it's a lieutenant there.
I step out with the baton underneath my arm, and Captain Redwood, here to take command. Here are my orders from Colonel Humphrey.
Very good, sir. Lieutenant Walsh of the 1st Platoon, sir.
Good. What is the situation?
Situation, sir, is I'm wanting to bring the men into the complex. The natives are getting a bit riled up.
Yeah. Have the jogs been harassing them with alcohol and pig's meat?
Well, surprisingly, the jogs have been behaving. It's the actual recent digs that have got the Egyptians riled up.
Are we not paying them enough?
It's more about the story about curses.
Well, no one's forcing them, are we?
Well, they don't. Just because we're not forcing them, they think we're going to bring some sort of calamity onto the city.
Superstitions and tomfoolery. It's probably just the soldiers playing pranks on the more superstitious once again. I've seen this happen. Where I go?
How far away are I and the doctor from this conversation?
Like
Feet.
3 yards.
You know,
Oh, okay. So I say, pardon me. I think I might have a solution. Lieutenant Walsh, was it? My name's Sean Penn. I'm an American archaeologist and ruin inspector, and I work for the Vatican. Captain, I may be able to talk a little Arabic with the locals and see if I can't calm them down for you. I don't know of too many of the soldiers around here that can speak Arabic. I might be able to help.
Yeah, well, the native guides can speak the language, but I do suppose having somebody who understands English to translate would help.
So I start going near the locals. Well, actually, I ask Doctor, do you know Arabic as well?
just a smidgen. There, probably. It's my ancient Egypt and my hieroglyphs, yes, but I only have enough Arabic just to ask for the basic essentials. That's it.
I just kind of make a mental note of that, and I go and talk to locals.
And it's going. It's like as the good knight's doing that, the doctor's going. Captain, you want to come with me and we can have a look at these ruins?
Well, that sounds fascinating. Unfortunately, I will have to make stock of what we have, the matters of business. But if you would care to unpack your things, I'm quite certain I will be able to join you by that time.
Of course. Take your time. Of course, you've got your duties.
Lieutenant, show me to my command station.
Yes, sir. Stand to attention. He takes you over to a very plain mud building that's been swept clean. And he's going, sorry, sir, it's all we've been able to get cleared up at the moment.
Oh, we'll have to acquire some decoration here. This will not do for a captain of the British Army. Not in peacetime. Perhaps in the war, a bunker would do in this condition.
Yes.
I would like to invoke style before purpose. This is his first mission. This became his first priority.
Right. Okay, so are you going to be seen to getting all your stuff decorated and all the plushness set out first before seeing to your deposition of your men? Right,
Yes.
I'm willing to give you a fate point for doing that. Okay.
Yes. Where do I put it? Fate points.
Just when you know how you got that column of fate points, increase it by 1.
Yeah.
Okay. And wait, what's gonna happen is the good knight is walking over to the Arabs and he tries to talk to them. But
Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So and this is for Architect of Tears. All right. So Architect of Tears, this goes out to you. I'm calling you out in strength. So I go up and I kind of look for one of the younger guys again, like I did earlier, and I say Marhaba, Ashmi Dafid Mir, Samit Ara Knak Bed, Ahadawit Ila Alakali, Kut Yamikini Ad Akwan Al Musadir, which for Architect of Tears.
Can we get him to try and translate that?
Exactly. Which says, hello, my name's David Moore. I heard there was some incidents at the ruins. How can I help?
You just see them all kind of look, and it's just when they hear the word ruins, the people just move away. They make the sign of the evil eye, basically, and just stalk away from you.
Is there anybody that kind of trails behind?
No.
Okay.
Is there? Everyone's is on edge here.
Where you say they're moving away from the ruins, but like, so most digs are like in a square pattern, right? So is there a specific corner or a side that they're moving away from?
Well, they're kind of moving like, because you've mentioned the word ruins and you're up near them, they've kind of moved away. It looks like most of them had like people had gathered because the troops had arrived, so it's a wee bit of people watching.
Okay.
But the second it's getting obvious that partly the reason why the soldiers are there is they settle down in the ruins, and someone's mentioning ruins to them, they're like, no, I'm out of here, you know?
Okay. So it's widespread. It's not in a specific area.
No, it seems to be widespread. It's like,
Okay.
it was the main avenue had kind of like closed up and people were packing away, but it's like the soldiers have, it's as you're kind of walking back, the soldiers have just like, they've just settled down, they're just playing cards. Like half their equipment isn't even pulled out yet. There.
Okay. So is there any other local that I could talk to even briefly, or is there nobody? If there's nobody, then I'm just gonna walk back kind of near the captain's dirt hut.
Yeah. There's no one that you can see. It's like everyone, every time you like look like you're about to see someone and they notice you're looking at them, they're moving away from you. You know, they're not standing still to allow you to walk up to them. You know.
On the way to the dirt hut,
Mm-hmm.
is it you said I could see like the soldiers, like equipment and things like that. Is there like a pile of anything that's been already discovered, or have we not gotten there yet?
No, that basically what we're talking about is just basically the outer perimeter that
Okay.
that they
Okay.
have established. It's nothing.
So then all I do is I walk back to the dirt hut. I just look for anything in the sand that might be like a really odd trail that's like not from a vehicle or like a person or something. But otherwise, see, I was tracking the cat. But yeah, I just do that kind of lackadaisically as I head back to the captain. And I say, Captain, oh, well, actually, I knock on the dirt hut because I know some of the etiquette of the Europeans. So I say, Captain, can I come in for a second?
The inside captain is like having two soldiers decorating the dirt hut and like come in.
Yeah, it's getting
And
plush carpets and all this.
A bit higher, to the left. You step half a step. No, too far. Go back. Yeah, that's good. Now nail it down. Okay, you.
I say, Captain, I like what you've done with the place. If you told me you were an interior decorator, maybe we could have swapped stories. My plantation could use a little redecorating. Maybe you can get your people and anyway. I wanted to tell you that I talked to the locals, and they are scared to death, and it's specifically the term ruins. I don't, any way that I phrased it, any way that I talked to them, they were fine unless I mentioned ruins. So I would be interested to see what has been found there. I suspect that maybe something's been unearthed that the locals don't want because they've scattered to the four winds, as we say. So but yeah, it's specifically that word. So also, I would recommend to not say that word around the locals because you won't get very far with it. I'm afraid. If there's anything else I can be assisted with, if not, I may go see if I can help the doctor. But let me know when you are ready to explore the ruins. I'd like to explore with you.
Soldier, take this man and find him somewhere he can place his things and rest for the night. I don't believe I will be able to relinquish my duties until tomorrow morning. Also inform Herr Doctor that he will also be staying and find him a place to stay as well.
Would you like me to do a morning service, sir?
Oh, if you wish. Are you an ordained priest?
I am.
Anglican faith?
Well, we're Roman Catholic, which is why I went to, which is why I'm with Vatican. But yes, I am a priest.
Well, most of the folks here are Anglican, but I don't see no harm in general mass as long as we steer clear of the more stringent beliefs of the Catholic Church.
Well, I will tell you that I simply preach what the Vatican states and the rule of law. I will not be as righteous as some of my brethren have claimed to be.
Well, it will be a good thing to have a proper sermon to the God in these parts. It's hard to find a church here since the Romans left.
And so I start heading over with the soldier then, and wherever I end up, I would just be kind of like making passages and like marking them down for a mass.
It's as you settle for the night. There.
Yeah, the first half of the day is gone with decorating, and second half is done with the actual military stuff.
Yes. So it's during the middle of the night, a great cry wakens the camp, and it's just a massive whale of a sound. And there's a knocking on your door, and it's like, Captain Redwood, sir, Captain Redwood.
Yes, hold on your horses, I heard it. And Captain Redwood comes out with a cap. They've the khaki pants and the shirt still unbuttoned, but a sword on his belt. What is it?
Sir, we're surrounded.
Surrounded by what?
Looks like the entire local population is
Well, attention, man at arms.
and it's the soldiers are starting to run out and all this, but it's just as men are starting to line up, you're hearing other sounds, and it's like you're hearing shouts from the other side, on the far side of the compound, where it sounds like, they're in the perimeter! Fall back!
He was giving orders on my behalf. Mr. Elish, we shall go see you. Hold the line here. Anybody passing the perimeter line, you have my permission to use deadly force.
Yes, sir. And it's like troops are just sergeants are ordering soldiers into their positions, and lines are getting off. You start hearing crack of guns in the distance.
Well, I start heading towards that direction. With all due haste.
It's as you're heading off in the opposite direction, heading deeper into the ruins, you're seeing a couple of soldiers running back, and they say, "Sir, you can't go that way. We need more men."
Oh, what is it? A few locals?
It's about half the city, sir. They've went through the barricade.
City went to the barricade towards the ruins? Well, are they insane? Whatever. Fall back. Was anyone hurt? Anyone injured?
We've lost a couple of men, sir.
Injured or dead?
I don't know. I saw them fall. They didn't get back up.
Great.
So they've got guns, sir. Some of them at least got guns.
Right. Right. We need to mount a rescue party. If they're down but alive, we need to get them back. I need 7 volunteers.
You just see a sergeant just fall and told 6 other soldiers to come with him.
No, the American is not volunteering.
Oh, so all right. So I was just waiting for when my cue was.
Well, I'm assuming you've heard all this shouting going on.
So I was thinking about what was going on. So the only thing that would have confused him would have been when he said "man at arms." He wouldn't have really understood that at all. But he would have heard the sound and gotten up and seen everybody moving. And so so David would still be going to the site of the commotion. So he would be fairly close when the captain said that, and actually he would be one of the first ones to volunteer and say, "Captain, I can help you with that. You beat me to the punchline with your sergeant and 6 dudes." So, the American. So actually, what happens is when you say that, I kind of step out from the soldiers and say, "Who said I wasn't volunteering?"
The 6 soldiers just glare at you and go, "Idiot."
Right, Lieutenant, you are in charge here. Hold the fort. We'll be back with our men. Right, this is a rescue mission. We're out to get our wounded. Reports are two men down and unaccounted for. We will go see if they're wounded or dead. If dead, we will handle it in the morning. If wounded, we will carry them to safety now. Any questions? Good. Move on. Hut.
Captain, should we check to see if the doctor is okay? I believe that was part of the mission, was to secure the German doctor, correct?
Well, I never said that to you, but
Well,
but at the moment, Wooster's priority is British people, British personnel.
It wouldn't have been
yes.
It wouldn't have been from like a metagame standpoint. It would have been that you've been like protecting this guy and specifically told me not to attack him.
It's a good point, Lieutenant. Try and locate Dr. Himmler. If you can, protect him. If you can't, he'll probably get into our way.
Sir, about the dear doctor, one of the soldiers reports he's not at his tent. He might be still in the ruins.
He left for the ruins yesterday? Who allowed him to? Bloody hell. Anyway, forward.
So, your men, you start to disperse and move into it, and it's just, you're hearing the occasional crack of cries all around and shots being fired, especially right behind you where most of the men are. But it's like in front of you, it's dead silent there. You're moving through the ruins and through the plinths and columns of the Temple of Karnak. And it's just, as you're moving, and it's like there's a wee snap as it sounds like someone is pulling the bolt on a rifle.
Who hears that? Is it the captain or is it me that hears it?
Well, it's everyone there.
I say, Captain, get down, and I want to invoke. Is that what that thing is? Wait a minute, hold on.
No, you want to.
No. I want to use a stun. How do I use a stun?
Oh yes, stuns.
I want
to use those.
I want to be a divine defender.
Just in case he gets shot.
Yeah.
The first shot goes wide. Okay, so I'm not going to have you use it at the moment. Okay.
Okay. He's kind of prepping for it. He's prepping for the moment where it all goes down.
And shots fire off, and you hear grunts as slowly but surely it sounds like the other soldiers in your group are seemingly picked off. There. It's pressed with rifle fire.
I say in Latin, because I don't know Latin, but David would. He says something to the equivalent of, "I didn't want to have to do this," and because up to this point he hasn't shown it at all. So he kind of steps forward and this it looks like he's adjusting his trousers, and out pops his giant snake of out pulls his rapier, and that's what they're calling it these days.
Saber.
He pulls out his saber. Wait a minute. Hold on. I've got this. He pulls out a spear. Say it for me.
I'll get the name.
Asparagus?
Asparagus. Yeah, that's what we're going with. Asparagus.
That's what they're calling it nowadays.
Yeah.
Asparagus.
And I say, I don't. How do I say? I just kind of bring out asparagus, and I'm kind of ready when I do
it. Just to point it out, I was making a joke about it being called asparagus, which is a plant.
Oh. Yeah, I know what asparagus is. Didn't get that from how you said it. It's all right. Which I feel like is going to be a running gag in this campaign. Is a lot of times that you guys make a joke that I legitimately. It's not that I don't understand; it's that I didn't even understand how you said it. So it's like, well,
it's probably my pronunciation. It's unorthodox.
But yeah, so I'm kind of like, I'm kind of almost in not really Indiana Jones in it, but like. I've got the saber, and I'm just kind of trying to guard the captain.
It's as this is going on, you're just hearing shouts of Arabic all around you. You hear a voice just cry out, "Go, Captain! Is that you?"
Is it German or is it English?
It's actually it's English voice. This one that's going out.
Okay. Is it somewhere visible or somewhere close?
It's somewhere close. It seems to be a wee bit, just a wee bit further on from. It's just kind of basically. It sounds like they were just a wee bit ahead of you, and you just see a quick shine of a light, and then it's quickly muffled like someone's covering up a lantern. They're trying to signal you.
Yeah. No. So Captain just taps Mr. Ellis on the shoulder to let him, and then does hand signals and proceeds to go towards the sounds.
So you're using one of your wealth to bring in Mr. Ellis for the.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I have.
So it's like Mr. Relish there and runs ahead. I'm assuming, are you following him or are you just staying?
The opposite. He's following me.
Oh, he's following you. Sorry, right. So he's following you. He's covering your back. He's got two twin revolvers, and one in each hand.
I got one in one hand because I'm a gentleman.
Yeah.
The other hand needs to be ready for the ladies.
Yeah. And it's just as with him occasionally taking off a shot when he actually thinks there's someone moving around him and you're moving off. Is the night falling, or is he just left standing there in the middle of the ruins by himself?
The knight has been following along behind the soldiers. The knight is also learning about his sword, so the knight is trying to. He's been following while the invisible hand in the sky is learning about how to use it. So,
yeah. So you follow the voices.
He would be kind of putting the rapier. I keep it. See, to me, it's a rapier. I know it's designed to look like it's a curved sword.
It's a saber.
Yeah. He's so he's waving the saber back and forth to try to deflect any possible gunshots he can. Whether it happens or not. While they're going, like they're kind of darting through, you said there was bits of Arabic. Does he hear? Does he understand any of it, like bits and pieces? And yes, it's a light saber, correct.
So
Asparagus the lightsaber. It's green.
yeah.
All right.
No, so what you're hearing, it's just the words are like the words you're hearing. It's like stuff like "kill the infidels," "stop them from," you know. There's like so it's basically along. So some of the words you're hearing is like "kill the infidels." It's purge the evils. It's these sort of things. It's like save the city. There.
I'm saying the Lord's Prayer as I'm going with them in Latin.
And what happens, but it's like you're slowly finding your way through the ruins, and it's like what you find is that the light that's been shined is actually leads down into basically what appears to be a chamber that actually steps going down into a chamber that's set into the ground, and there's a light, and there's one wounded soldier there that was flashing the lantern to attract your attention. There's another soldier who's going, Captain, the doctor found the doctor's inside. We've tried to hold him off, but it's like we've taken injuries.
Carry on. We'll get you out of here. The doctor is deep inside, you said?
Yes.
Right. Mr. Relish, get these men. Go get the troopers. Get these men out of here. I'm going to try and get the doctor out of harm's way.
Captain, order, sir.
Follow me.
Yes, sir.
So.
Good job, boys. Hold the count.
So you actually, walk in, and it's like you're finding going down a dark corridor. There's off in the distance a yellow glow where it looks like there's a light further ahead in the corridor, but that's all you see. And just the occasional street, but the rest of it is just really darkness. All you have is indication of where your destination is, but you can't really see any of the details of what's in between you at the moment.
Should have taken the lantern, but I can't take that from the hood. Then you don't have. Yeah, lighting up a light is suicide in these conditions. You just have to go along the wall. He's trying to keep his voice down, listening, following the route towards deeper into the temple by just holding onto the wall with the other hand and the other hand holding the revolver.
And
I didn't get most of that. I'm sorry. I was explaining the character in the chat, but whatever he's doing, I'm behind him.
Yeah, it's dark, and he's saying that it's too dark to see, so they have to come around blindfolded in here. And lighting up a light is suicide when people on the other side have rifles and can see you, but you can't see them.
Got it.
Yeah. So you're just slowly creeping towards the light that you're seeing off in the distance there. And it is when you get into the room, you see the good doctor, and he's going, gentlemen, what is going on? I've heard shouting and shots.
Yes, we need to exit this area immediately. You'll have to get back here during the daylight. But at the moment, it is too dangerous due to some gunmen gone wild. They are hiding in the dark, trying to get to shoot any infidels. Sorry, I don't know the infidel part.
Yeah, I was like, now
Yeah.
who's metagaming?
Yes, sorry, my bad. But they are trying to shoot us at the moment. Some men are wounded. We need to get you out of here before things escalate.
Of course. Lead the way there. So what's the party order there?
Booster's going first.
Okay.
I'll be covering the rear because I don't trust the doctor. I want to put the doctor between me and the captain.
Okay.
Because you can shoot the captain. I mean.
Yes. So it's just as you're about to leave there. Can you both give me a focus roll, both of you?
And point of clarification here, I'll do the focus roll here in a second. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't have any more fate to spend during this session. But if I asked you to compel something, I could utilize one.
It would have to be a situation where would I be causing the trouble for yourself?
Okay. I was just trying to figure out if the okay. Yeah, we both got force.
Right. So what is just as you're starting to move off, you're hearing muttering from the good doctor, and it's not in German, it's not in English. There.
Is it an ancient Egyptian?
It's not even the ancient Egyptian.
Okay, let me put it this way. Would I know the language?
It's not a language you recognize either.
Really? All right.
Is the language I might recognize?
No, it's not a modern language either.
I like your character, but I probably got more languages under the belt.
Yeah. Dubious. Doctor, we need silence.
Just a cackling sound comes from the doctor. Phil, I have you exactly where I want you.
Is he looking at anybody in particular?
He's looking at Worcester.
Okay, now can I do my Define Defender thing?
If there's an attack.
Because you stated earlier that you were giving me that.
No, you can do it. It's when there's an attack on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's what you're doing.
So I'm so we are where? I know he's in the middle, but where does he say?
So what you are is the three of you are in this tomb, right?
Yeah.
And it's basically just so you're in this tomb. It's probably what you would have, depending on how, with you doing focus shows, right? And you got, I thought I also want to give you that you had a okay look around. Okay, what you would have noticed that there was where the doctor was standing, there was actually an altar. Okay.
Oh, I would have noticed an altar.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
That is the.
Oh, it's dark. It's still quite relatively dark. So there was an altar, but in the thing that you really did notice, because it was kind of like poking out of the shadows, right? Is what appears to be. You would assume it's potentially a sarcophagus.
Okay.
There.
The language that he was speaking, do we recognize the script or the family group or anything like that of the language?
Probably the closest you could think of might be something like Sumerian, but that's it.
Okay.
But it's you, even then, it's probably something like it's people's suggestions of how Sumerian might sound like.
Okay.
You're not 100% sure. No one's spoken Sumerian in
Millennia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so no one knows how it be. But there's something that you just go. It's like some people like you've had discussions about what could certain languages sound like, or well,
Yeah.
it just reminds you of someone's attempt at doing what they believe Sumerian might have sounded like. For some reason, that sticks to your mind, but you wouldn't be 100% sure.
Basically, I don't know how to speak Celestial. All right. Man, y'all need to catch up with the chat. I'm telling you. All right. So I just kind of go into a defensive stance and try to get ready to brace against whatever is going to happen, and if I need to take out the doctor, if I need to.
Yeah. So it's just what ends up. So the way combat works in this, okay?
For the record, guys, apparently we're going into combat.
Yeah.
Do we have time to finish the combat in the next 10 minutes?
We can. It would be. I can give you a quick description of how the rules work, and then we can leave it for this is how we start off for next session.
I think if you can make it quick, I would rather see something in the first episode, even if
yeah, sure, let's go this time.
Yeah,
go.
So quickly, the way it works is we work out what is going to be the most applicable. So it's a question of I don't think the fact that you both got a 4, he didn't get the jump on you. Okay, so it's basically out of the two of you, who do you think was the most ready to take action?
Me. You're trying to point.
Yeah.
You're trying to point elsewhere. Yeah. I've been trying to defend him and attack
that guy.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So it's what are you going to be doing here? Are you going to be?
So the sarcophagus hasn't opened. It's just
No.
that the doctor is muttering Sumerian and cackling.
Oh, he's cackling.
Is he exuding any sort of dark purple clouds around him? I mean, details, man, details.
So what you're getting is as he's talking there, you're seeing slowly a kind of ball of fire starting to come between his fingers.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I gotta look at the actions in the quick guide here. All right. Okay, so I can attack, I can create an advantage, I can defend, or I can overcome.
Yeah. This is the thing. If you're attacking, I'm going to be doing a defense roll, right?
Okay, so you know what? I would really I see that ball, but from where my defensive position was, I just happened to be in the right spot that I could quickly like, is it a tangible ball or is it like a ball of energy?
It looks like a ball. It's like crackling coming off it and all this sort of stuff,
But is it physical or is it a ball of? Is it intangible?
Look, closest thing is like you've ever seen like kind of ball lightning there.
Okay. It just so happened that because I was I had positioned myself in such a way behind him that I happened to be right next to his arm. And I was able to twist his arm so that way the the ball of lightning ceased.
So basically you're wanting to try and create an advantage where he's not able to try and use magic here.
I am doing my stunt right place, right time.
You're already in the place, so it's not that stunt.
That stunt allows you
to basically
enter
appear
the scene when you are not in the scene to begin with.
Okay, say it again.
You can enter a scene where another player is, but you were not at the beginning of. So you can enter a scene when you weren't in the beginning of the same scene.
Okay.
So it's not that.
All right.
So it's more.
So then, yeah, I'm gonna try to. I am going to. I'm gonna do it. I am going to attack, and I am legitimately going to try to chop the guy's arm off with my sword, like his right on the wrist.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to stop that lightning.
Okay. So.
Bring it on, little Doctor Dude.
Right. So this is the thing. You probably realize you're now on the mission from God. So I'm going to give you that. Okay. So
okay.
You take that. You're going to get your mantle.
So I got to mark this here. So what do I mark it?
So just tick it. And you can use your mantle, which is faithful, which comes at a 5. There.
Okay. All right. So what do I roll? I roll the mantle then?
You can roll the mantle one, yes.
Okay. So I should have 5 in the mantle slot, and I'm going to click the roll.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got an 8.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to do a defense roll. Okay. So I'm going to do it with my actual fudge die. Fucking hell. Right. I can't believe that. Right. Right, let's bring up...
-2. -2.
It's nastier.
-3?
Right, let me bring up...
I don't know if we're at +8 or -2.
Right, so you're on a +8, right. So what's my... Okay.
I'm sorry.
No. Yeah.
Purple guy, lightning, I'm going to attack him.
Yeah, of course. So the difference is, I rolled negatives on my die. I rolled 3 negatives, okay? And it's just basically the second he saw you pull out the sword, he just responded with a barrier of as much force as he could, okay?
Question.
Yeah.
Negatives are good for you or negatives are bad for you?
They're bad for me because...
Okay.
Because basically the force that I had from my stat got negated by that, okay? So you have done quite a bit of damage to me, so you get a cut onto my arm, okay? So it's like so your sword comes in, hits the shield.
Okay. Since when does he have a shield?
He raised up a barrier of energy as he...
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
But the sword, you just put so much power into it, it just came through and just pulled, and he's just stepping away, and you just got a cut on his arm, right? So he's actually bleeding profusely from his arm there.
Little disappointed I didn't get the hand, but I'll take it.
And he's taking quite a bit of stress from that, right? At this point, you can then pass off to whoever you think is most likely to go in combat.
Oh, like between you and Wooster?
Yeah, out of the remaining players, you can pass on to.
Oh, I'm saying.
So whoever was still to go, you can then pass on to the next who you think is most likely.
Do you count as a player?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it would be, it's like when it comes to me, I would control all the remaining NPCs,
Okay.
whether
So
that was
then,
good or bad.
yeah, you would go next. I mean, somebody just slashed your arm. I mean, you're gonna react to that somehow.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is, as he's pulling back, you're just going to see a massive ball just lightning kind of crackle, okay, on his fingertips, and he's going to fire out a shock towards you because you've
Uh,
slashed.
just a question: did that succeed with style, or did that succeed a minute
Oh,
ago?
that's going to be a succeed with style there.
Okay. I just want to be like, because anytime it succeed with style, I'm going to make it stylish because that's cool.
Oh.
All right. So what do I defend against this ball of lightning?
Oh, well, it could be you jumping out of the way. It could be you potentially putting, if you're going with the faith, you could be potentially putting the sword.
Yeah, I would try to catch the lightning on my religious holy instrument and be like, and like hold it on the tip of my sword.
I shouldn't have mentioned that to you.
Well, I was going to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Because I was like, of course, I'm going to try to do that.
Yeah.
Like, that would be the obvious answer there.
Okay.
So what do I do?
Yeah, you're just gonna do another mantle roll, okay?
Okay. I mean, that is legit. I would immediately have done that.
Yeah.
5, and on a 5, that's not great.
It's average.
So this is what's gonna happen for me, okay? So I'm gonna do a force roll. There. Hold on. What's coming up?
I need a force roll. I need a force
No,
roll?
no, me.
Oh, okay.
-1. Okay. But what I'm going to do there is the actual a wizard, okay, can hit a few conditions, okay. So the conditions are exhausted, burned out, there, and just hitting them. Notification, bring up, yep. And it's, hold on, and I'm also doing one more stress. So as he's putting all this force into it, okay, he's gonna, you actually see that cup open up wider.
The cut. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And it's just gonna be, so that your sword just will catch most of the power, okay, but it's just going to then slam, a part of it's just going to slam into you, and you're going to actually take 1 stress of damage there. Actually, make it's 2 stress. Sorry, I'm forgetting that. No. Correction, 1 stress. I don't get skill from you. Damn it! I should hit booster.
I have in peril and doomed, which I don't know what they do.
That's for absorbing damage.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I saw that in here. I thought that was one of my abilities, but no, that's just regular. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So one HP down. Is that what I got?
Yep. You're currently
Okay.
on 1 HP.
So I believe it is the very rich captain's turn.
Yep.
Because he's the only one left.
This is obviously a crate. great burden to the great British army to have their protected turn on their protector. It's like, excuse me, what the hell do you think you're doing, man? And trying to create an advantage. So like distracting this with sheer commanding personality of of Lord Worcester Redwood.
Are you saying this to the doctor?
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So you're going with flair. You're trying to distract.
Yes.
Okay.
Who do you think you are to treat me in this fashion? The question is he technically a noble or not?
Well, you're a noble born. Hold on. You're talking about would this apply to your +2?
Yes.
I would
Isn't
say
the point that he's a noble? That's kind of his whole thing, right? And we covered that.
I am, but the point is I have an ability that gives me plus extra flair if I'm dealing with a noble.
No, I'm saying you had a conversation with him that he was.
Yeah, but he doesn't give a shit. It's only if someone gives a shit. This guy doesn't give it. Yeah, he because remember, he got according to the story, he got disowned, right?
Yes, that's true.
So no.
So not getting that.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm gonna roll my flair. Either way.
Okay. 2.
That's a +2.
Okay.
I'm going to invoke prim and proper English gentleman because this is the proper opportunity to be prim and proper English gentleman and use all the proper language for being insulted. I'll take the +2. So.
Okay.
So a 4, is that what you're going for?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's like now what's gonna happen next? So it's gonna be a contested roll for me. It's gonna be on his focus, right? Just to concentrate and right. So you're gonna get an aspect, okay? That's gonna hang on it, which you get. Basically, it's the concept of he's focused on you, and the aspect that you can apply is the dear doctor is actually distracted. Okay?
Yes. The aspect is distracted, so he turns like.
And this,
yeah. And what does that do?
It's got a floating invoke that basically Worcester could pass over in the next turn to you for you to tap.
Yeah, I cannot tap that because I am the distraction.
Okay.
So you can tap that. He's distracted, so I get a +2 to my action.
Well, basically, it would be everyone would be able to tap it to get a +2 to his next attack.
That's what I meant.
And
right. So I pass my turn to Evan, who is the next logical one, as the doctor has been distracted.
Okay. So I might just do some more hack and slash. We'll see here.
Can I give my fate points to him?
No, the fate points are personal.
Fair enough.
He's bloody whacking the guy. He doesn't need any more fate points.
Can I ask for a compel?
At the moment, I'm looking at your guy. If there was another social aspect, I could possibly apply, but not in this situation.
All right. So what is overcome? I don't know what that is.
Oh, the overcome that's basic.
Skill check.
It's basically a skill check. It's getting past obstacles there.
Okay.
Really, in the
does not apply in combat.
Okay.
Potentially it could, but it's more about you. Like if you had like a door in front of you and you had a rampaging minotaur behind you, you could either fight the minotaur or kick down the door.
Got it.
Kicking down the door would be the overcome. There.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, He's only using his hands, right?
Hmm.
Okay. And he's been using his hands together, right? How's he been doing this thing?
Well, the originally he was doing like basically like this, like trying to channel
Okay.
it, but like the when you came in to attack him, he threw
Yeah.
up one arm, and basically his counter attack was more like that straight away, you know.
Okay. Okay.
So he can
Um,
do it. He can do it one handed. There.
okay. Was he saying any kind of words or nothing? Well, like he's muttering,
Well,
but
he was Martin originally, but it looks like
he's,
he's
he's not muttering now.
well. You see a wee bit of movement of the lips, but he's doesn't have the as long as he's speaking it. When it comes to magic, speaking it aloud is just a way of help channeling and focusing the mind to do the spell. Okay, it
Okay.
doesn't necessarily. It's
Have to be.
you could do it all in your mind. It's just a lot more difficult. That's it.
All right. Um, he's on the altar, right?
Oh, he is being pushed back. Yeah.
Is there any pillars by that altar?
What are you gonna try? What are you thinking of doing here?
I'm asking if there are pillars on the altar. You know, is it like the four the four stands in like an old style altar?
Right. What you got is it's more like a stone slab. So you've got like four pillars holding up the stone
Okay.
slab that forms the altar, but nothing on top of it. It's just
Okay.
it's long and wide enough to hold a body there, as if it's being prepared. Okay.
So but we're all on the lower part of it.
Right. So what you've got is like the altar rises up and it's kind of waist high. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Right. So
What what
so
are those pieces made of that are holding that up?
oh, it's solid stone. It's like where
Solid stone. Okay. I'm going to try to. Um, uh, I'm actually, if I'm holding my sword,
mhm.
I'm going to try to pommel hit, and I want to try to get him to stumble and bash his head back into one of those stone pillars.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, Captain.
Nothing. Can I?
Um, if no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have time to do a pommel slash. So yeah, because I just want to knock him out. So I want to take my sword and go and just knock him in the head. How do I do that?
No, it's just an attack.
Okay, so how do I click attack?
It's just
Is it still mantle?
well, you could do it as manta. I think this time you could argue that you're just doing as much for as easily
Yeah,
just force.
I mean it's I could see that as force. So it's not divine faith magic. So
yeah, this is like
I got a 0.
right. So it's
Oh wait, I get a +1, right?
+2 actually.
+2 because he's distracted.
Yep, good point.
Or you could use that for a reroll if you wish. That's also an option. It's either +2 or reroll.
No, it'll be no. This aspect wouldn't be for the reroll. It would only be for a +2 bonus there.
I'm gonna go with a
As
+2.
this one's it's actually a additional conditional. It's not a character aspect there, so it only gives you the +2.
Okay, so you can invoke your character aspect.
Yeah.
He's distracted, so I'm gonna smash him on the head.
So that's going to be
Well,
a
I thought that was like all aspects. Anyway,
No.
well, I might be wrong.
Most aspects you can do a +2, but character aspects allow you to do rerolls there also.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it's a +2. So this for me is, as you're just doing it, another barrier of light just comes up there from the dear doctor.
Bleh. That's what I think of that.
And it's, I'm just reconfirming. Files. Yeah. that's fine. So it's just as you come in, and it's just you come in, strike with the pommel, and it just stops, and it's just hovering over the arm, and you're just like stuck. You can't push it anywhere further. There.
Question. You said he'd been bleeding profusely. Has he been bleeding on the altar? Or is he bleeding on the slab below the altar?
Oh, there's blood. Kind of like there's been blood splatter there.
Because the the whole reason I used the pommel, so that I'm just curious because the whole purpose is I don't want him to spill the blood if somehow he's our prophecy guy. I don't want to bring about the doomsday on the first day. So.
It's a bit late for that, isn't it?
Well, I just tried to slash his arm off, and it was like I was going for a clean cut, a clean. There, but
he's bleeding like he's being taken to the slaughterhouse, so sparing him of wounds is like pointless. But hey,
all right. Well,
right, you do you. Who's next?
I think you would be because he's been blocking. That's what he's focusing on.
Right.
Yeah. I think you would be.
Right, I do believe this is the excellent opportunity for Mr. Relish to relish us with his presence and begin a volley of bullets from the other side of the corridor where he can see our lightning show, quite literally.
So you're putting in other wealth for him to come in.
I'm using my money.
How good is Mr. Relish's aim?
He's not as good as yours.
But he gets a +2 for doing his attacks. There.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm summoning Mr. Relish. Is that my action or?
Yeah, if you're going to be using your action to call in the stunt, we'll have Relish step in and do your...
Do the thing. Right. So that's my action. I can't do anything else on my round.
Yeah, and then afterwards it'll be Relish also can get involved, and you can get involved afterwards. Okay?
Yeah, fair enough. So Relish is next.
Yeah, you should have in your character sheet an NPC. You should have Thomas Relish.
Yes, I should have Thomas Relish here. And I'm gonna roll his mantle, I suppose.
Yes, that's the how I've set it up. So,
there's a echoing in the temple of Karnak.
So that's come out as okay. So that's coming out as just a 1 there. Okay. And again, it's just shots are just going against this shield that your doctor has got up there.
Stupid shield.
You're rolling on my name.
Yeah. Okay. So the bullet, for a second, looks like it's just going to be held there, and then there's a blinding light as it actually seems to pierce through, hits the doctor straight right in the chest. Bullet goes right through, strikes the sarcophagus there, and the doctor goes and just falls back onto the altar.
I just want to point out most of that damage was by me.
Yeah, that was just a stupidly bad roll on my end there.
I mean, you might have gotten the final hit, but that was all me, bro. I loosened that pickle jar.
Sure. America's always taking the credit for everything.
I have no problem with that sentence, actually.
You could have killed him last turn if you just swung your sword, but no.
I didn't want to get blood on the altar.
And it's just as you're saying that, as blood
On the
slowly
altar.
drains onto the altar. Yeah. And the slight light starts to shimmer off, and that's where we're going to end. There.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, it was a different session.
Thank you all for watching.
It's a pleasure being on the other side of the fence for a change. It definitely gives a different perspective on things.
Yep.
Thank you for running.
No problem.
Oh, it's the after show discussion.
Woo!
We got a special board for that. All right.
Yes, we do. Blinky says it was bloody impressive. Well, congratulations, John.
Blinky
You made an impression on Blinky.
Yep.
Blinky's been doing bad puns all day.
But that's one of the things I like about it, because combat can be quite quick sometimes, and that was basically 20-25 minutes there.
It was 2 hits.
Mm.
I mean, granted, it was one massive hit.
Oh yeah.
One kind of okay hit, but I mean, it was still 2 hits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think yeah, it was good. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I like the desert setup. It's got a little bit of an Indiana Jones vibe.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a guy with a saber fighting against a German who's channeling the dark arts. I a little on the nose. I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So. And you did what you really wanted to do in session 0, which was throw money at a problem.
Yep.
And that is the lesson we learned today.
Yeah.
Is if you want all the glory, make sure you throw money at the
Yeah,
problem.
just have your man server come with a gun, and just make sure he gets paid for it afterwards.
Yeah, for
And there go all the other locals.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
any questions from the audience?
yeah.
I know
Or
it's not
comments.
your show, so sorry. I jacked the conversation.
Yep, sure.
So, oh man.
And I know it was a wee bit slow at the start, but I hope I ramped up the speed a wee bit. There.
Yeah, we had an army of locals. What do we call you? Well, there's only 2 of us and an evil red skull at this point. And then how was that for the first episode? Well, why don't you answer the how was that for the first episode? I'm trying to think of a call sign here.
the battle poodles.
The Battle Poodles?
Yes, that's an excellent name.
I feel like that would be much funnier because I am never going to be able to understand you when you say that. I feel like it's got to be something with asparagus because people are saying it in the chat.
The Asparagus Brotherhood.
So the Asparagus Battalion, maybe. Yeah, we could do it because there actually is a brotherhood in the game, so that's not going to work very well. But I mean, it could be the what do you command? Like you had a platoon, right?
Yes.
So we could be the asparagus platoon.
The Order of the Asparagus.
What do we call each of you, King and Wooster?
Or
Knight and Wooster. I don't know how to answer that. I don't. We have the Veggie Gang as one of the solutions. I don't know what that means as far as what do we call each of you. I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. I suppose they want to know what to insult us with. So I suppose they could insult me as, you know, that really handsome guy in 2.4? That's Rooster. He's so annoying.
I mean, there's pretty much only one American on the squad of To Die For, right? Like there's
Zimmy is also American.
Okay. I'm the obnoxious American, like the American. That like...
Also, Carlos is American.
Okay.
I'm like the only American. Are you sure about that statement?
No.
Like half of the group is Americans.
Yes, but I mean, for us, we always have to claim to be the only one anyway. So.
You're the only you're the only Southern American. Okay. Carlos is from Oregon, so that's
no. Oregon's the other side of the country.
Yeah.
Oregon.
So Zimmy is from Germany, so that doesn't count.
Yeah.
He's German American.
Self-loathing? No, I'm the red-blooded American. The American. Yeah, that would be what you would call me. It's American. So
you're American.
Yeah, there you go, Frog Standard. That's the correct way to do that. If you really want to be correct, there's no I. We don't even say the I.
American.
if there's a yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, it was pretty solid first episode. Yeah, I agree. A little slow, but I think we got going, and you always have to have the character establishment.
Yeah.
Right? You have the establishment part. I really liked. My favorite part, I think, was the two openings. To me, that was really cool. I really liked Wooster's establishment shot. That was probably my favorite part of the episode. So yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I think and now we just have Americans in the chat. Wonderful. So all right. Any other questions?
Wooster, what was your impression?
Well, as I said, it's a bit slow to start with, but it got interesting towards the end, which I give you points for. Adding a splash of action is good. And
Link says he's not American; he's Canadian.
Yes. Right. Where was I? I lost my train of thought. So, next topic.
I have one. So, I think that we talked about this after the session 0. You're not from England? Isn't isn't there a person that's like from Sweden or Finland? And like,
that's me.
Like, and that blew my mind because I was like, you have the most English sounding English I have ever heard.
Yeah, I do it a bit of a poo, don't I?
It's like, what is your actual native speaking voice? Is that all an act? Like,
no siis, jos nyt totta puhutaan, niin tää on se, miten mä puhun normaalissa elämässä.
Because that's ridiculous. That like you have the best English I have ever heard. Oh, that's a good question. How are you going to insert Zim's character?
You'll see next week.
With great difficulty.
Stay tuned. You'll see.
With great difficulty, and it's not even potentially me having to insert Sims. I also have to potentially, if Thomas gets his real life things sorted out, it's me having to insert him into the game also.
Thomas, I don't know Thomas.
A Dane from.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Seeger.
Okay. Yeah.
Seeger.
So the question was, I really like this. Yes, I think he's seen it. Is Zim inside the sarcophagus?
Maybe.
I have no idea. That would be up to Lord.
That would be cool. I'd give you that.
Lord of the Asparagus, really, is what we're referring to. So, all right. Well, do we want to do outros? I guess.
Well.
I think I don't know. It's going to be a question of. It's like any sort of RPG game. The plan doesn't survive first contact with the enemy. Oh, sorry, the players, not the enemy.
One of the same. One of the same.
Yeah.
Let's not get pedantic over it. Good thing you had a backup noble.
Let me just get a noble out of my pocket. All right.
Anyway, thank you guys for showing up. I think it's about time we wrap this thing up. We're already half an hour over the budget. So any more, and I'll have to start paying these guys overtime.
Yep.
And I'm not made of money yet.
I was. Yep.
Let me just wipe my.
That was completely expected. So
Yeah.
Avita Zane.
Yep.
See you later.
Yep. Bonus nachos, people.
Bonus nachos.
Okay. And stop
And
streaming.